fiercely. You know, it's a game with yourself. You know, am I better now where who I was and what I was doing a year ago, you know, or 2 years ago or 5 years ago? It's a game with myself. So I don't really, you know, when somebody's doing something, I get inspired by them. I don't compete. If that can happen for them, then I know that it's going to happen for me too. You know? So when you remove that competition element from yourself, you're really able to, you know, be open more and engage more with other artists and learn more and share more. But I think definitely, you know, a website is very important. You know, of course, having business cards, you know, or you know, some kind of, you know, mailing list, business cards, getting on the social media is very important. Those are your basic things, you know, and it's just really about making the art and selling it, making it and selling it. And then after that, and just build your following. I really encourage all artists, you know, even if you don't have a gallery, even if you don't have a representation right now, go ahead and build your brand, build your art, start selling it, get out there. You know, I started out at Marco's Pita, you know, that was on Ponce. And I was in college, and I walked in there, and I said, can I have an art show? Can I hang my art out there? And Marco is so awesome. He was like, yeah. And that was my first real art show, was at Marco's Pita.
Wow.
And me and dude are awesome to this day. I was like, thanks, Marco. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been able to show anywhere, you know? So, you know, I've learned that if people like you, they'll help you.
Right.
You know, so get out there, you know what you stand for, and just get out there and start building this art practice. And you know, it's amazing because once you have the following and once you have the collector base, you know, you're going to attract people much easier that want to work with you, that want to, it's going to be much easier to get a gallery, because a gallery is going to look at you like, okay, that girl can make me a lot of money. She's got, you know, collector base. She's got her following. You know, now she just needs, you know, another aspect of her distribution, you know. And then I really, right now I'm only interested in you know, in galleries, you know, that kind of go to art fairs for me to split 50-50 with them. You know, I mean, it depends where you are in your career. You know, where I am in my career is what art fairs do you go to and what museum, you know, connections do you have?
Okay.
You know, at this point, if you don't really go to an art fair, I can't really, you know, I don't know that I can really work with you on the traditional art gallery, you know, gallery system, you know, terms right now. But I think that's the best advice I can give for artists that are starting out is, you know, be independent, you know, sell independently, you know, be able to operate independently on your own, and then you can, you know, go out to galleries and stuff. Because you're going to get a much better chance of getting picked up by a gallery once they see that you already have momentum and movement and a collector base and, you know, buzz.
Got it. So now that you have those things, you said you right now in your career you will only deal with galleries that do the art fairs, and what's the benefit in that, and how is that better than just a art gallery in itself?
Well, you know, an art gallery that is, you know, they're going to be able to provide for, you know, get your name out locally, you know, but I feel like a gallery that goes to art fairs, they're going to have a presence there, you know, where, you know, art freaks and art fans and art enthusiasts from all over the world, it's concentrated. They're there to buy art. They want to buy art. And so it's just a place where artists are not able to get into without the gallery. You know? So for me to want to go to an art fair, I have to get with a gallery that goes to the art fair that I want to be represented at. And that way you can get more international opportunities. Your gallery can network with, you know, people in Europe, people in Asia for you. I'm really right now focused on, you know, trying to get out there beyond Atlanta, beyond the States. You know, I haven't really made even my presence in New York yet. You know, and my mentors were like, Yun, you know, you need to have a presence in New York. You need to have a presence in New York. So, you know, throughout next year, that's my goal, is to have more of a presence in New York with my work. But at the end of the day, it's about the work. You know what I mean? And it's hard to have that balance. It really is, of being in the studio, you know, doing administrative stuff. You know, you do have, you know, more work when you're, you know, representing yourself. Because that's what I'm doing right now. I gotta do my website over. I gotta, you know, get everything just looking right. You know, we just, kind of rebranded, you know, and stuff. And I actually got myself a little logo. You know what I mean? So I'm still doing a lot of the foundational business stuff that I can fully operate by myself and sell independently. And then I want to maybe do a show with a gallery down the road, and maybe go to art fairs down the road, and do more international shows down the road. But I'm really in foundation mode right now.
So that sounds like before you go out to a gallery, and even after you've been with the gallery, you can always come back, retool, reformat your message, the way you work, and the things you want out of your career, and then go back to a gallery if you choose to, and you come back stronger and a whole more well-rounded artist.
Absolutely, because when you have your own because here's the thing with the galleries are a necessary mode of distribution for your work, okay? And they're very necessary. I love galleries. It's a avenue of distribution for your work. So if you want to look at how you distribute your work, how you get it out there, how do you get it out there? Before, I was just going through the galleries. That was it. And I felt very limited, you know. But now I'm exploring the internet. I'm selling through I'm going to be doing it through my website, doing it through, you know, galleries, doing it through, you know, all over the place. So you want to look at all the different ways you can distribute your art. And galleries are one necessary, vital way of doing it. To get that kind of credibility that you want in the art world. You know what I mean? Because if you are too wild and do your own thing too, you know, way out there, it depends where you want to go. You know what I mean? You know, unfortunately, if you still want to get art world credibility, you're going to have to go swim in that red ocean for a little bit. You know, and I'm willing to just get my toe in there, you know, just enough that I can still get the credibility or whatever, but I really want to explore this blue ocean, cultivate collectors. You know, if my career grows and if I become a very influential person, and what if I can influence masses of Americans to go buy art? And what if I can get with other people that feel the same way, and we get together and start talking about the importance of buying art and collecting art? What can it do? How can it benefit our country and the economy? You know, and artists, right?
Right. Wow. All right.
Yeah. All right. So it's I really want to give it back to my mentor when I was a financial advisor. And he really stretched my mind. He got me to think really big. You know, when I sat down with him, he said, Yun, how much do you expect to make with me? And I was 25 years old. And I was like, I would be really happy with $40,000 a year. Like, I just thought that was like a lot of money. You know what I mean? And he was like, well, Yun, we don't work with those kind of numbers here. And immediately in my small, limited thinking, you know, because I was taught, you know, from my parents, you know, go to college, go to school, go get a job. You know what I mean? And that's the route that I went. And he said, Yun, we don't work with those kind of numbers here. And I said, okay, well, I would be happy with $35,000 a year. Like, immediately in my small thinking, I downgraded, you know? And he said, Yun, we don't work with those numbers here. I need you to understand that it is possible for you to make $40,000 a month here. That's the kind of numbers that we work. You know, that's the kind of numbers that we work with here. And I couldn't even fathom. If I can't, you know, comprehend what $40,000 a year is like, how can I comprehend what $40,000 a month is like? You know what I mean? And so he said, Yun, if you trust me, I will teach you everything I know. I will coach you. I will groom you. I will teach you everything I know. So I'm just so grateful because, you know, if it wasn't for his mentorship and the trainers there that I was exposed with, even though that wasn't my calling, it was like a 3-year intense boot camp of being able to hang around a multimillionaire on a regular basis to see how successful people think. You know, and
Right.
they just really taught me about leadership. They taught me about management. They taught me how to hire people, how to coach people, how to inspire people, how to motivate people. And now I'm doing it on a big scale and bringing those skills on a big scale and applying it to my art.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know?
So that's a clear example of how having a mentor is important. How important is that in the art world with artists and having an art mentor or an art business mentor?
Well, I have a lot of mentors. You know, I still have, and I think this is what's important. Is I talk about this on the other podcast too, is that you don't want to just stick to mentors in your industry. You want to stick to successful people, period, that can mentor you. Because even though, you know, like I got the basic business foundation that I got from, you know, the financial, you know, mentors, financial advisor mentors that I came across. But what they taught me, I was able to apply to art world, you know, and I was able to see just in traditional business thinking that the traditional art model, the way it is just flat out inefficient as a business person. So when I'm talking to business people that are not in the art world, they look at me funny like, damn, 50% is a lot. Are you serious if the galleries take that much? And I was like, yeah, you know, and so, you know, we're looking at it from, you know, just risk assessment. You know, we're not even looking at it from return on investment. You know, you're looking at strictly risk assessment, and it was just really risky for me. Yeah, so that's why I got out that model. But the mentors is, you know, and you might not even meet them in person. You know, right now I'm watching a movie called The Meta Secret. That my friend introduced me to that movie called The Meta Secret. And just, you know, you can just jump on YouTube, you know, start listening to Richard Branson, start listening to some of these. You know, I've been really, you know, really researching Mark Cuban. You know, I've been really, you know, just learning about people. How did they do it? What did they do? You know, it's a pure obsession at this point. You got to be obsessed. and that's when people, and that's how it was with my parents. When my parents realized that our daughter is obsessed, like she's not doing anything else, that's when people see how committed you are, that's when they start believing in you. And when you have that conviction. And I even had, you know, I was somebody, you know, it's in business, there's a lot of, you know, people that play dirty, you know, and I even had, you know, an enemy that wasn't an enemy back in the day, but that said, Yun, I've just seen you fall with your face flat on the ground, man. And it's all about it feels like when it feels like your face is straight up against the hot concrete and somebody has their foot on your head, will you still get back up? Will you still fight when you're at that level? Will you still get up from there? And so everybody needs to know that you're committed to this thing until you die, because everybody knows, okay, Yun, if she falls on her face, she's willing to go out to California and fall on her face and come back to Atlanta and still get up and keep it going and rebuild. You got to be able to do that, you know, and get back up. And I was listening to this one, it was T. Harv Eker and some billionaire he was, you know, interviewing. And this guy went from zero to multi-millions, filed for bankruptcy, went down to zero again, went back to multi-millions, okay, went back down to zero, filed for bankruptcy again, and now he's a billionaire. So you know, you gotta put everything on the line. And right now, I have everything on the line with this. You know, and you just gotta get out there. And you know, fear is a terrible thing. Everybody has their fears. I've allowed fear to hold me back for too long in my certain ways or whatever. And we just have to get through that. You know, you really have to just act and just do it. And even if you feel the fear, even if everybody's just, you know, attacking you and hounding you and haters are everywhere and fake friends are everywhere, you know, you have to really stay committed through that and drive through and floor it.
You sure do.
You know?
You sure do.
So, and just at the end of the day, stand for what you stand for. You know, and don't bend at all. You know, you gotta be flexible.
And that's hard.
You gotta be flexible. Yeah, it is. It is, and that's the thing, you know, it's about mental toughness, you know, and when adversity, I'm grateful for adversity.